Good evening, good evening, good evening. How is everybody doing? Welcome, welcome. I hope everybody is having a very good day. Middle of the week already. It's already Wednesday. Man, tell you what, the time goes by like it's crazy fast. Unbelievable. Thanksgiving right around the corner for everybody. So that'll be interesting, right? Lots of travel. Hopefully, they get things going with the government here. It's supposed to be ending this shutdown here, trying to get everybody back in the house to make a vote and all that good stuff. And so we'll see how they all do with that. But all right. So before we jump into anything, I would like to remind everybody that this is a very family friendly oriented channel. I would ask you all to please be decent in the chat. No racism, no nastiness. If you cannot abide by those very simple, easy rules, those awesome people lit up in blue with the blue wrenches are going to boot you out of here because we're not going to tolerate that. If any idiots come in and make stupid comments, please do not engage with them because that's what they're looking for. They're looking for attention. Let my moderators just take care of them, and that'll be the end of that. So, all right. So that's what we have there. So we got Kathy's in here, Dale from Ohio, Williams in the house, Xavier, Janet Humphreys. Oh, and also, folks, Carol Prince is here. JJ's in the house. Bobby Farron, F14 Auto Mechanic, Sarah DJ's in the house. So I'd like everybody, if you would, to wish Janet a very happy 29th and holding birthday. Janet Humphreys' birthday is today. So if you all could wish Janet a happy birthday in the comments. She is 29 and holding. So happy birthday to Janet today. And so that's a good thing. So got to give her a little love. Another year around the sun. But all right. Crazy stuff going on, right? My goodness. All righty. So the weather has been nicer. No more snow. It's all gone already, which was good. It finished melting off today. Most of it melted off yesterday, but today it finished melting off. So that was good. But yes, we're supposed to be in the 50s tomorrow, which will be nice. And so looking forward to that. I have to laugh at the cat. I got a box over here that has I had the dog food, the little 12 in the case. So I got that little case. He's up there. He's sleeping on top of that, and he's bigger than the box. So, but cats in boxes, I just always thought that was so funny. They want to get into like the little confined space and curl up and go to sleep. So they do that quite a bit. All right. So what do we got? 119 in the chat already. We have 41 thumbs up already, guys. So again, less than half. So if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, please do so to show support for the channel. Again, I do appreciate that. It really does make a huge difference with the algorithms. So the more interaction, the better. And I do appreciate it for that reason as well. Also, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And I thank you ahead of time. So if you guys see this here, that's from one of the puppies excitedly jumping up on me. Kind of close to my eye, but it did not feel good. I just let you know. Yeah, they're good though. They're like so freaking big. It is unbelievable. But I'm going to be tomorrow. My game plan is to get out tomorrow morning, bang out more on that doghouse, and hopefully get it squared away. That it'll be done tomorrow. I should be able to do that within a couple hours. I'm thinking. We'll see. We will see. So, but Hello from Minnesota. No snow here in our neck of the woods. There, and she's wishing Janet a happy birthday. Very nice. Yeah, I'll tell you what. It's just the game. See, so I'm watching all these different things, and so now we're on the precipice of reopening the government, and allegedly, the Democrats have released new emails showing that Trump was corresponding with Jeffrey Epstein, allegedly, right? Now, and let's just put this into perspective, okay? Let's put this into perspective. If the Democrats had real dirt on Trump in relation to the Jeffrey Epstein stuff, you think they wouldn't have pulled that out during the election cycle? You know darn well they would have. Okay. The Democrats had an opportunity to release all the files. And I just saw, it was like, oh, the Democrats are releasing files of the Epstein stuff. Okay. Release everything. Let us all see it all. Both parties have had an opportunity to release this information, and none of them are really doing it. And I believe the reason is, okay, and like I said, if they had dirt on Trump, they would have used it a long time ago. So I don't believe this latest thing. That's just me. You guys can tell me what you think in the comments, but I just think that if they really had dirt on Trump as far as Epstein, they would have used that a long time ago. Long time ago. It's all distractions, in my opinion. But, I laugh because, I get notifications, on my main page, when I go online and the news page comes up, and, there'll be articles. And this is what I find fascinating. So again, it comes down to what you're looking at, okay, as far as news. So the Mirror is one of them, MSNBC, some of these other ones. And it's always, they're like Trump's shutdown. Well, the last time I checked, all the Republicans were voting to keep the government open, and the Democrats were not. So how was that Trump's shutdown? You know what I mean? It's just, I know that they're trying to throw in, and this is the sneaky stuff that they try to do. All right, and it's like they make it like, so the situation is the subsidies are going to expire in December. So as part of the deal to reopen the government, they've agreed to do a vote in December on what are they going to be doing with these subsidies. Are they going to keep that, those subsidies going, which gets paid again? I want you guys to remember, this is not being paid to the American people. It's being paid to the insurance companies. So these insurance companies don't want them subsidies to end. And I'm sure they're lobbying hard with the people that they have in their pocket in Washington to make sure that they're keeping that open or keeping that flow of money going in. So Jeffries there, Hakeem Jeffries, he tried to slip in order for the government to be open, like a poison pill type of thing, I guess you would call it. Because before, Schumer was saying, well, we'll reopen the government if you give the subsidies continue for a year, right? So this new thing is they want to keep the subsidies going for 3 years. And it's like the Republicans are like, no, we're not doing that. So, a lot of games. And if, like I said, if you are watching, again, if you watch all right-leaning news, right? If you watch all right-leaning news, and then, Trump is advocating for the money to go to people rather than the insurance companies. Exactly. So if you watch all right-leaning news, that's all the information you're going to get. If you're watching all left-leaning news, that's the information you're going to get. What you have to do, you don't have to do anything. You can do whatever you guys want to do. But what I would recommend, watch both, right? It's when there's a divorce, right? When there's a divorce, You have his side of the story, you have her side of the story, and somewhere in the middle is the truth. Okay, that's always the way it is. Always. Okay. Um, Yvonne saying she doesn't have audio. What you need to do, Yvonne? Oh, you can't hear me. So would somebody tell her in the chat to log out and then log back in because if she's having an issue? Would you guys let her know that, please? But again, what I've talked to you guys a lot of times, what I've talked about is do your own research on stuff. If I share information with you, oh, and I do have to do a correction. I have to do a correction. I said the Carrington event was 1815. It was actually 1849 was the Carrington event. In the video I did earlier talking about the Carrington event. So just wanted to clear that up. So I was wrong. Whenever I'm wrong, I'm going to come right back on here and say, hey, I screwed up. I thought it was 1815. I don't know why I thought that. If the 2000 actually is going to happen, great, but I'm not relying on it. I rely on absolutely squadouche, zero from our government. I rely on nothing. But yeah, I don't. I rely on nothing from them. So I just I don't have. I have zero trust for the government. Zero. You know, everything from trust the science and all that nonsense, and we see how that all worked out, right? So when events happen and we're given a narrative, and this is the narrative, and this is how it is, and if you would disagree with that, or if you question that, then you're a conspiracy theorist, you're a lunatic, and all that type of stuff. I personally believe that a healthy debate is a good thing. I do. I think it's a great thing to be able to say, you know what, I'm not buying this. Let's look at it more and see what we can do. Let's come to the bottom of things. Do the research. Find out what's the truth, what's not the truth. Because, of course, both sides are going to take their own spin on things and make it a certain way. Yeah, they can stay shut down, take the ATF, IRS, and payroll tax with them. Yep. No, I hear you. I hear you. Again, my biggest thing is don't rely on them for anything. Rely on yourselves. There's a natural disaster, and if somebody comes and offers you help, great. Take the help, but rely on yourselves. Rely on yourselves. When Hurricane Katrina happened and they had the Cajun Navy came down there and was really instrumental in helping people. And that's just everyday people going down, helping out that had, the boats and stuff like that to be able to go in there to, make sure people were safe, that they were alive, that they had food and all that type of stuff that were there. That was a good thing. A lot of the ways that they handle some of those situations, I don't agree with. I don't think that the first thing you need to do in that situation is disarm the populace. That's the only way that they can protect themselves from looters and marauders and stuff like that. And so that's crazy to me that's what our own government did during Hurricane Katrina. If you don't believe me, do the research, look it up. The videos are there. The proof is there. Okay. When they put all those people in the Superdome, down there, and what happened in there, which you will never hear all the stories of what happened in there. Rape, stealing, all of that. So a lot of bad stuff happened, that they try to sugarcoat and sweep under the carpet. Again, I don't want to be in a situation where I have to rely on them to take care of me. So Epstein was testing about Trump, not with him. That's what Cass is saying. Well, like I said, they're trying to link him with Epstein, and so But again, release everything. Then let's see who all was dirty. I mean, you look at the list. I mean, if you look at the list of just even Hollywood types that went to Epstein Island, look at all those people. I believe Oprah Winfrey's on that list, right? Bill Clinton is on that list. Hillary's on that list. I believe she was there as well. The laundry list, from Kevin Spacey. God, I'm trying to think who else. I mean, there's just so many. I mean, it was a ridiculous amount of people. They weren't going there for vacations, folks. Okay, that's not what they were going for. So, if you have a vacation destination, you're not going to some dude's private island to hang out. Well, maybe you are. I mean, but I don't rub shoulders with those people, so I wouldn't know. I've never. I can honestly say, in all confidence, okay, that I was never invited to Epstein Island. I was never invited. I just, he must have overlooked me. So, but no, like I said, if they had anything on Trump, they would have used it a long time ago. They would have used it a long time ago. I mean, and that's the whole thing. I mean, they did the whole Russia collusion thing, which proved to be fraudulent. They spied, and this is the part that kills me, okay? Trump is weaponizing the DOJ to go after his enemies. Isn't that exactly what the Democrats did the last 4 years? Correct me if I'm wrong. And that's not an opinion. That's not an opinion, okay? That's a fact. That when they were spying on congressmen and senators on the Republican side, tapping their phones. That's not, they were doing all kinds of stuff. And so now that Trump is in charge and he's got his people, on, in charge, and are they going after the people that did things? Yes, they are, and they should. Why should the one there in New York, James, why is it okay for her to do fraudulent stuff that she was going after Trump for, right? The trumped up stuff. When nobody was swindled out of anything and all the money that was borrowed from the banks by Trump was paid back, right? So there was like no victim, but they went after him anyway. But yet she's done the same exact thing, but now she's a victim. I mean, it's just, you can't make this stuff up. And please don't get me wrong. Both sides of the aisle are just as corrupt. Both sides. So it's not like the Republicans are squeaky clean and they're wonderful. There's plenty of slime balls on that side of the aisle too. But when you have, when they're talking about freedom of speech, now this is like the big talking point with the Democrats, right? Oh no, they're trying to suppress freedom of speech. Isn't that exactly what this previous administration did when they put pressure on Facebook, on YouTube, to restrict what information was being put out there when somebody had a dissenting opinion? Were channels not shut down? Were people not given strikes? Where you basically got to a point where you couldn't talk about certain things, or you couldn't question, right? You couldn't question the official narrative. You were not allowed to question the official narrative. And if you did, you were punished. So tell me that's not restriction of the First Amendment, which is freedom of speech, But it's amazing to me, and now they're all crying. And here's the thing that I find funny, I find this amusing. There is, I've watched the videos of it, which I think it's even more funny because the woman doing the interviews is a lesbian, and she's at like gay pride events, talking about, and she's a Republican. This woman is, okay, but she's a lesbian, and she's like, well, there was this big talking points that Susan said, I'm still banned from Facebook. Well, you're not missing nothing. You're really not. Um, so she goes to them and she says, well, the Democrats were saying that Trump was going to lock up all the homosexuals and put them in camps, and your rights and your freedoms were going to be taken away. Have you lost any of your freedoms? This woman, who is a lesbian, is at gay pride events and talking to gay and lesbian people, and they're like, well, no. Imagine that. Wow, you're right. You didn't like lock you all up because you're gay. I mean, it's so ridiculous the stuff that they come out with. Um, and and here's something else that I mean, and this is a point that I think that really needs to be made, because one of the big things too, illegal immigrants are being rounded up and sent back to whatever country, right? And so they're like, well, they're separating families, they're taking the children away from their parents, and blah 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 blah. Well, correct me if I'm wrong. All right, if you've committed a crime, and let's say you I'm trying to think of, well, we'll go with an easy one. We'll go with a DWI. We'll go with a DWI. Now you're in your car, you got your kids in the car, you get pulled over, and you get arrested for a DWI. Okay, are they letting the kids go with you to jail, folks, or do they take you to jail? And if there's a relative that the kids can go with, that's where the kids would go with that relative, or they get put in the system, right? That's what happens. They separate the criminal from the children. That's the law. That's what we do in this country. So to make it, and I was suspended 21 times for Facebook and beat them 19 times. I have to pre-check before I post. That's crazy. That is crazy. Yeah, that's absolutely nuts. But that's, again, that was all part of that game. And the other thing with that, the fact checkers, what is their professional background? What's their professional background? Who gave them the authority to say what's true and what's not true? Obviously, whatever the official narrative is, that's what they say is true. I will never forget, guys. Okay, and I've seen the video a million times. I'm trying. God, what's her name? The one. She's got like a man's haircut. She's a lesbian. Oh God, what is her name? Oh, she's one of the news people, and she's like has her own show. On and I believe she's on CNN. God, what is her name? Rachel Maddow. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. Okay, and I will never forget. This is what I will never forget. So they got Rachel Maddow on there on her show, and they're talking about this, right? And she goes, "If you get this, it stops right there. You won't get it. Nobody else will get it. That's the end of it. It stops it. It's done. Nothing else will happen," right? So she got on there and preached that to people. But what were the facts, right? What were the facts? I was sent a public apology a couple times. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. The facts were that the people that got this still got that, right? The people that got this still could spread it. That was the truth. Okay, that was the truth. But again, it was a Ed, did you see that Sean Duffy revoked 17,000 CDL licensed truck drivers out of California? I had not seen that, no. But that's probably good, right? That's probably really good. But again, when that whole thing happened, okay, and I'm no better, folks, than anybody else, and I'm not trying to say I'm better than anybody else, and I'm not trying to pat myself on the back saying this, but being in the medical field, when they came out with that, and they were like, oh, yeah, in the way that they pushed it on people, I was like, no way, no how, not doing it, never. And, I didn't. Heather never got it. My mom never got it. My sister never got it, So I know that people were coerced, bullied, threatened for the loss of their job. So some people did it because of that. They didn't want to do it, but they did it because if they didn't, they would lose their jobs. You know, that's tough. That's a tough decision that, you know, that's an individual decision that people had to make. And I have no judgment on anybody that did whatever they felt like they needed to do. But I wasn't going to, no matter what. And I never did, and I never will, you know. So, you know, that's just, you know, that, but again, you know, like I said, what anybody had to do individually for whatever reasons, who am I to judge anybody? So, guys, we got 245 in the chat now. We're at 112 thumbs up. So, if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to please do so to show support for the channel. Again, I really do appreciate it. It is really helps with the algorithm. So, the more interaction, the better for the channel. So, again, I do appreciate that. Also, again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And I thank you ahead of time. So, and I do appreciate that as well. So, but sue the employer. The immunity only covers the drug makers legally. Right, right. You know, and there's the thing, and here's the thing with that. If something that they're saying is safe and effective, whatever it is, okay, it doesn't this or whatever, okay, if they're saying it's safe and effective, why do they have to have it that you can't sue the manufacturer if there are adverse side effects to something? Why would they have to have that in there? Why would that clause be in there? Right? So that's just something that you know, for me, I find puzzling, I find interesting, but yeah, but yet they want to try to sue the gun manufacturers. Exactly. Yeah, well, they're doing absolutely everything that they can to disarm people. They're doing absolutely everything that they can, you know. And of course, who's it always all blamed on? It's always blamed on a white man, right? Always blamed on a white man. So I'll tell you a quick story. So I was working for Monroe County, working at Monroe Developmental Center. We took care of the mentally retarded. That was the job. This is going way back. I was a nursing assistant at the time. And so we are going through orientation. And, you know, you have to go through all this orientation to justify this person's job or that person's job. And the lady running the orientation, we get to the discrimination part of the orientation. And she says, can anybody tell me what a minority is? And I raised my hand and she said, yes, Ed. I said, everything except a white male. And the people in the room started laughing. And I said, I'm not kidding, right? And she stopped everybody and she said, he's 100% right. Other than a white male, everything else is a minority, right? So if you're homosexual, lesbian, red, black, brown, female, you are a minority. The only ones that are not a minority are white men. So, you know, we're the bad guys. We get blamed for everything. So it's just, and I have to laugh at that, you know, because it's just the ridiculousness of it is always amazing to me. Again, and I've talked about this before on here. I personally feel that things should be on merit. If you are the best qualified candidate for the job, regardless of your orientation or any of that type of stuff, you should get the job. You know, that's just my take. But, you know, that's not how it works. That's just not how it works. But, you know, anyway, like I said, all of it is just, it's, there is always the pitting. We're going to pit these guys against these guys, and they want you to hate them and them to hate you. And it's insanity to me. It's insanity to me. You know, like I said, I don't hate anybody. I don't have the time or the energy to waste on hating anybody. You know, are there people that I don't care for? Are there people that I don't like? Sure, we all have those, right? I just don't waste my energy on that. Like just even like with YouTube, there are certain channels that I don't care about. I don't like them. It could be the way that they talk. It could be whatever, their subject matter, whatever the case may be. If I don't care for a channel, I choose not to watch it. I'm not going to go to that channel every day and go, God, I hate this person. I can't stand him. Why would you do that? You know what I mean? Why would you do that? And realistically, hate only hurts the person who hates. That's who it hurts more than anybody else, because that eats you alive. Again, life is way too short, folks. It is way too short to go around being pissed off all the time. I walk around and I'm out in public, and most people are miserable. They're miserable. They're not smiling. They're not laughing. They're not happy. They got this sourpuss look on their face. Like I think I've told you guys, I will walk up to a total stranger, right? And I may say, if it's a woman, I may say, I really like that haircut. It looks really good on you. It suits you. I like your outfit. Very nice outfit. I just wanted to let you know that, and then I walk away. I'm not trying to hit on them. I'm not trying to hook up with them. You just give a compliment. You be nice to somebody, and then you walk away. Maybe you made their day doing that. Maybe you made them feel better by doing that. But it's like, and how much effort? What does that hurt, right? Instead of being a miserable prick all the time and being pissed off at everybody, and the other thing is too, what I try to explain to people is this: everybody on here, everybody in this live stream, everybody in the world, okay, everybody is going through something, right? Family, yourself, your kids, your wife, your husband, your job, your health, whatever it is. We're all going through something. So when you can take a minute to be decent to somebody, that's free. It doesn't cost you anything, So, hey, Jeannie, welcome. But yeah, we all have challenges. Absolutely, Jennifer. Absolutely. So, yeah, Kimberly was saying, yep, I'm not going to repeat that because I just don't want any issues with YouTube. But Ed, when we talk about you, what? The chat disappeared. Oh, really? Oh, that doesn't surprise me. Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, I'll give you an example of something that I find. I find certain things very interesting. Okay. So I did a video on night vision, right? Did a video on that. Probably half the views that I normally get on a regular video is what I got on that, which tells me, right, that video was probably suppressed because they don't want certain information to be put out there. And I think that happens a lot of times with certain topics. If people talk about certain things, there absolutely is a suppression. And, it's probably the algorithms looking for certain words or whatever the case may be. So, it is, yeah, you would think, but yeah, it was like very much not, they don't see what you have to understand is the powers that be, whoever really is in charge. And I'm not talking about our government because they're not really the ones in charge. Okay. The ones that are really in charge don't want you to be prepared. They don't want you to be able to defend yourself. They don't want you to be able to go, hey, I don't like this or I don't like that, and I'm going to do something about it. And because whatever, if you get that, right, it gives you an advantage. And like I've always talked about, if you have a 2 weeks worth of food and water, you have an advantage over 92% of the people in the entire country because most people don't have that. And that's just that, just food and water, not counting all the other stuff. So, breaking news: the House passes a bill to end the government shutdown. There we go. Hopefully, they didn't do that subsidies thing for 3 more years. I don't think that they did. They tried to sneak that in. So hopefully that did not go through. So well, so there we go. So now we've just bought till the end of January. January 30th is now the new deadline where they may shut the government down again. But at least here's the good news on that. All right, people are going to get their food stamps. The military is going to be getting paid. The people that they all complained a lot, though. I'm not sure what you mean. I don't know. I don't know why they did it that way. I think it was January 30th, as I believe is what they said. But all the Democrats. Well, yeah. Well, the thing is, they want the subsidies to continue, and they're set to expire at the end of December. One of the things they agreed to was to do a vote on that before the end of December, which hopefully they let them expire. I hope they let them expire. The healthcare system is a mess. I don't want to see the government taking over the healthcare. It doesn't work. It's been proven in other countries it doesn't work. So, but I'm glad, like I said, I'm glad people can get their paychecks. The airline folks, we need them back to work, especially with the holiday travel coming up, for Thanksgiving and for Christmas. And again, when I talked about that before, that's huge, huge money. So what are we at with 254 in the chat, guys? We're at 140 thumbs up. It really, again, does make a huge, huge difference with the algorithms. So the more interaction, the better for the channel. So I do appreciate that. Again, also, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And I thank you ahead of time. So, but yeah, like I said, it's a big game. They're playing with us constantly, which drives me crazy as well. The news about the subsidy is where Barney, Nancy, Chucky are getting royalties. Oh, it wouldn't surprise me. Well, I saw that Nancy's going to retire. She's not going to run again. Chucky needs to retire too. But California paid their SNAP yesterday. Okay. But yeah, Kimberly Swanson saying it's all about control. That's what they want. At the end of the day, it's all about control. They want to control every aspect of our lives. They want to tell us what to do, how to do it, where we can go, what we can do, where we cannot go. All those type of things. And the taxes just get worse and worse and worse all the time. And where's all the money going? That's what I would like to know. Where does all, like, I know, when I was in New York and I had the property in New York, and they went through in a 2-year period and like just jacked everybody's taxes up. Everybody's property tax is what I'm talking about. They jacked all that up. Hello. See, she went out after the private live stream. I let her out then. So she was already out. So she does not need to go out. She's just coming up to say howdy, aren't you? That freaking collar is done. We got to get you a new collar. We do. You need a new one. That collar is crap. So, but, well, good. I'm glad they're reopening things. I'm glad people are going to get their food stamps. I'm glad the air traffic controllers are going to get paid so they can go back to work. That everybody that has those government jobs. Oh, I know one of the things that they agree. Okay, stop. One of the things that they agreed to. Do you cook on the gas stove in your home? Yes. Yep. Propane. It's a propane stove. Or if I'm out in the pavilion, I can cook on the wood stove, either or. So. But yep, I use the propane stove quite a bit. Love it. Awesome. Works great. So, um, the whole thing, like I said, with the whole government, it's always going to be about controlling. Oh, I was talking about the taxes there for land taxes. They like doubled everything and just like hammered everybody. And now, the big thing, like in New York, I've talked to several people up there. I was actually talking to Margie, and she was talking about, you know, these the company RG&E is the one. You got NYSEG, and then you have RG&E. Those are the two big energy companies in New York, upstate New York. I don't know about downstate. I'm just talking about upstate New York. And they have gone in and lobbied to increase rates, and and they've been getting these increases, and people are really starting to get hammered. And again, then you have your line charge, right? They could jack that line charge up, and so people, um, what choice do they have? They got to have power. And so now they're stuck because they're on the system in these towns who are in the pockets of these power companies. I mean, when the system is so rigged, like if you decide you live in town, right? I'll give just a good example. So you live in town. This happened to a lady in Florida, and you decide, I'm going to go off grid. I don't want to be part of the system. I don't want to pay these outrageous gas and electric bills. So I'm not going to be part of that anymore. So you get yourself shut off. All right. If you get yourself shut off, the town or the city or county or whatever, they'll condemn your house because their laws say that you have to be connected to the grid, right? You have to be. You don't have a choice. If you're in that town or that city and all that type of stuff. You get out in the country, it's a little bit different. You got a lot more choices out there, but that's what they'll do. And that's why I was able to, with a property that I had in New York. I was not on grid up there, had and still is not on. Becky, her place is, but not Heather. Heather still lives off grid, and she had somebody say to her, "Well, you should go on grid," and she goes, "I don't want to." Oh yeah, the miscellaneous charges. Oh, I love those too. Those were the biggest things that used to drive me nuts when I would get my bill. They actually had a line when I was still living in Greece, New York, and still had a electric bill and everything. And you had that line miscellaneous, and every month it was like 98 cents. So if you have, like I said before, I've talked about that a little bit before. You have 200,000 customers that are paying, you know, for your power. There's 200 grand a month. That's 1.4 million a year for what? For miscellaneous. So it just, it. I would never go back on grid. Never. No desire to. Don't want. Well, where I'm at, there's no power lines back here anyway, which is just fine with me. So, but and they will continue to raise them and raise them and raise them, and there's nothing you can do about it. You're stuck, and it's a game. And that's the part that blows more than anything else. As far as that goes. So, but yeah, and other charges. Well, they have the line charge. I think the line charge. This I'm going back a ways, guys, because obviously for over 10 years I've been off grid. But line charge, I think for each month was like 12 something a month, and that's from the street to your house. That line charge, the privilege of having their power. That's what if I remember correctly, it was like 12. I think it was like 12.95 or something like that. You guys would have to look on your bills and see, but there is a line charge. So, but yeah, that's all part of that as well. But again, like I said, if you can be as free as you possibly can be, do what you can. If you can take one room in your house and disconnect it from the grid, have a little solar system set up so you have one place where you can do your own thing. Ed, here, power company set one pole then you have to buy the rest of the poles needed. Think about how many poles that is. Yeah, well, I know that that's what they'll do too. Yeah, and you have to pay for that to be able to be connected to them, which that ain't never happening. So cell phones have those mystery charges too. Oh, of course. It's all a racket. The whole thing is a racket. So, that's just part of what we're dealing with. All right, real quick again, we're going to get ready to do egg count here in just a minute. But we got 249 in the chat. We got 167. So we need, 33 more to hit 200 thumbs up, guys. So let's, shoot for that. We'll see if we hit 200 thumbs up before we jump off of here. So again, if you have not shot that thumbs up yet, please do so. Let's see if we can hit that 200 mark. Again, it really does make a huge difference with the algorithms. And again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. All right, so let's go ahead. How many eggs today do you think we got? Yes or no for Miss Betty White? And of our 3 Easter eggers, how many of them do you think laid today? So I'll give you guys a minute to get your guesses in, and we will go from there. Give you guys a minute to put your guesses in. I'll just give you guys a minute. Is that it on the guesses? Oh, there we go. We got some more coming in. All right, guys. I am not seeing any correct guesses on this one today. The number was we had 7 eggs today. Yes, Miss Betty White laid, and we had 2 Easter eggers laid today. So that's what we ended up getting today. So no winners. So nobody is happy, and nobody won anything. So, all right. Yeah, JJ puts it in now. Yay! Oh, JJ, look at you. Cassandra's guessed that? Let me see. Let me go back here and look. I didn't see it. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, she did. Okay. Yes, she did. Oh, then my bad. I'm sorry. So Cassandra's did win. She had 7 yes and 2. All right. So, well, congratulations, Cassandra's. You've won nothing, but you are happy about it. I'm absolutely missed that. My apologies. Thank you guys for keeping me on track. So, thank you, Carol, for pointing that out. I didn't see that. Brain dead. It's terrible. It happens. Again, guys, I'm going to continue to encourage you, always going to continue to encourage you to prep, get ready, do what you can do to help yourselves. When that time comes, it's going to happen. I believe it's going to happen fast. And Dominion voting machines did the count. Oh my God, that's funny. Well, then they were very accurate. If we don't give Ed his 200 thumbs up, he will stay longer till he does. No, not always. And we're 23 away. We need 23 more thumbs up, guys, to hit that 200. Hey, we've had nights we didn't make it. So we need 22 more to hit that 200 on the thumbs up. That's too funny. But anyway, like I said again, do what you can. Prepare the best way that you can. We don't know what's going to happen, folks. But I honestly believe when it does happen, it's going to be really, really quick. And we're all going to be like, holy crap, didn't see that coming, And so the more ready you are for it, the better off you're going to be. And anybody see the northern lights here in the south tonight? I haven't actually been out, so I'll have to look here when I go to get the puppies out and see if it's overcast or if I can see them. Yeah, so a lot of activity with that to be able to see it as far south as they're saying that you're going to see it. Too much light pollution. Well, see where I'm at, I don't have to worry about that. I don't have to worry about that one at all. So that's pretty cool. All right, now we're at 186. So we need 14 more. 14 more thumbs up, guys. Yeah, I think it'd be neat to see that, to see the northern lights. I think that would be really, really cool. But so the government is voted to reopen, which again, I think that's a good thing. You know, but like when you watch the news, again, going back to what I was saying earlier, if you watch all left leaning news, they're blaming it all on Trump. It's all Trump and the Republicans, even though the Republicans were the ones voting to open the government. And see, this is how do you spin that? How do you spin that to be believable? You know what I mean? As far as that goes, if you have, a half a brain in your head. Hey, Ed, after the chat, I will send you a picture of the northern lights here. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, please do. That'd be neat. So then you listen to the right, and obviously the right is saying, hey, we're voting to open the government, which they are, right? They're not doing all the things that the Democrats want to be blackmailed to open the government. So, I get, one of the things that they did agree to is until there's going to be no more layoffs from government workers until after, the 30th of January. So that's where they were at with that one. So I know that was like one of the provisions that got certain Democratic senators to cross over. And it was the one, it was saying he didn't feel right about people not getting fed. So I get that as well. So it's good to see that they finally got their heads out of their behinds, got that part of it done. And both sides will claim victory. You watch what they'll do. They'll have their little press conferences and, both sides will claim a victory on this thing. But the reality is this: when they play these games in Washington, D.C., who does it hurt and who does it affect the most? And it isn't them. It's never going to be them. Yeah, they don't have a balanced budget, so that's still not there. What are they going to do? They were talking about voting for the subsidies again before the end of the year. And the Republicans, from what I understand so far, they're not doing it. They're going to let those things run out. And of course, then you have the left is going, well, they're going to have higher insurance rates for people because of this. And, we're trying to help people keep low insurance. And, the right is saying that, well, there's a lot of illegals. I think it was 1.4 million illegals that were on health insurance that shouldn't be on health insurance because they're not a U.S. citizen. So they should not be getting it anyway. So, I mean, there's a lot. He said, she said, whatever. And you got to filter through all of that stuff. In all things, is there ever going to be fraud and mismanagement? Of course. That's always going to happen. If there's any way to get around things, people are going to work their way around things. That's just a fact. That's just what happens. So we got 193, guys. We need 7 more thumbs up. So let's keep them rocking. Let's get that up over to. I'll stop asking, I promise. As soon as we hit 200, I won't ask again. So shut Prepper Nurse 1 up. Give him, well, now it's 6. We need 6 more thumbs up. And if you have not noticed Obama coming out of anywhere all of a sudden pushing for Obamacare. Yeah, they played their little games and all that type of stuff. It's just the whole thing is it's nonsense. And it's a politician's fault that the insurance companies are out of control. Well, insurance companies, oil companies, you're talking utility companies, right? Your power companies, like I said, the insurance, all of it's insane. From car insurance to everything else. Why is car insurance so expensive? Like I live okay. My car insurance when I was in New York was cheaper than my car insurance here. And the reason that they say that the car insurance here in West Virginia is so much more expensive is because so many people drive without insurance. They just drive, they don't care, and they don't care if they get caught. And they just do they don't care. So because of so many people not having car insurance down here, the people that do the right thing and get car insurance, you pay more. It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. So, it's just one of those games that are played that again, when I decided to go off grid, I'm like, I don't want to play this game. People were like, well, I'll never forget when I first went off grid. People were like, oh, well, that costs too much money to get started, and I don't want to deal with that. And my gas and electric's not that expensive. Well, I can guarantee you this: from the moment that I went off grid, the cost for me did not go up year after year after year. But I will guarantee you this: anybody that was paying to a utility company, your insurance, or I mean, not your insurance, your utility bill goes up every year. It don't go down, and then heaven forbid you hit January, and if it's been a cold month, you're going to get that whopper of a bill. You're going to get that huge bill. All right, we're at 198, guys. I need 2 more thumbs up. 2 more thumbs up, please. It's just a game. I like to play it just for fun to see if we can get up to a certain level on that. So now we're at 199. So we need 1 more. And then after that, I won't ask. You guys can keep giving them after that, which would be great. But now we hit 200. Okay, so I won't ask for any more. But if you would like to continue, you can. So, but yeah, it's just, I mean, it's like I have no speeding tickets. I have no points on my license. I have no DWIs, nothing. And my insurance is expensive. I hate to think what people that have things on their license are paying. It's insanity. Jennifer says up $250 this year for battery storage for the solar farms. Electricity prices are crazy here in Texas. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah. Like I said, I don't miss it. I don't miss that nonsense. And again, for me, it's a semblance of freedom. All right. It's like one of the little things that I can control. My freedom. This is my freedom. You know what I mean? So that's and of course then if anything goes wrong with the system, then I got to take care of it. So, but it's always that way. JJ said, Ed, the majority of car insurance bill goes to the middleman. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Yeah, if you have an agent, yeah, they get a decent amount of that. Wishika says, oh, darn, I missed the show. I'm still not used to the new time thing. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. You can watch it again afterwards. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. Yeah, I went direct. What I ended up doing, guys, I went directly online and bought directly from the insurance company. And I shopped around and I got the best deal for me. And it was a lot less. So some people just can't live without the grid. It's sad. Well, the thing is, what it comes down to, our life off grid, wants and needs. Comes down to wants and needs. What do you need, right? What do you need to have, and what do you want to have? So, Ed, I pay a budget for gas and lights, and I keep the budget up just in case for the January shock, plus $5 more works out to my advantage. Oh, I hear you. No, if you're on a budget plan, it definitely is an advantage to you in the long run, because then they can't sneak in a surprise jump, which they do every year. So, Anyway, guys, 211 on the thumbs up, so very cool. So I appreciate that. I'm going to leave you all with my favorite saying: STD, step, thing, and day. Whatever you're trying to accomplish in life, it doesn't have to be about living off grid. It doesn't have to be about prepping. Whatever your goals are, whatever you're trying to achieve, if you set realistic goals that you can achieve and you work methodically, one step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time, you can achieve those goals. And the only person that's going to stop you from achieving those goals is going to be you. That's it, nobody else. Stay positive, stay away from negativity, stay away from negative people that try to bring you down. Um, Surround yourself with people that want to lift you up, that want to support you, that not that want us want you to be successful. That's what you need to do. So anyway, guys, I will talk to you all later. I hope you have a great night, and I will see you all Friday for the next live stream. Please be safe. I will talk to you all later. Prepper Nurse One out for now.